Hey guys, Neely here. I'm coming in for a end of the month cook up and I'm going to try to do as much as I can, kind of do a pantry challenge type thing to get as much made out of the food that we already have, because I have already spent a little bit of our April grocery budget money, so I'm going to be a little bit behind and I want to make sure I don't go over this month. And so I'm going to try to get as much made out of our pantry stuff as possible and freezer stuff. So I kind of went through and looked at everything I had and made a list of things that I could do. I'm going to do turkey and cheese bites. I've had some Gouda cheese in the fridge that I've needed to use for a while. And I'm going to be doing them like I do my pretzel dogs, and I'll put a card to that up above. But it's I make like a no-knead dough with the part unbleached flour, part sprouted flour, and then I wrap the turkey and cheese. Like I'll make cheese sticks and like roll up the turkey and roll that in the dough, kind of like I do with the hot dogs, and everybody really enjoys those. And then I'm gonna do some beef and bean and rice burritos. I have a bunch of burritos. I have a bunch of tortillas. I pulled those out of the freezer earlier. I have 3 packs still, so I'll be able to make a whole bunch of those because I had a bunch of ground beef. I have a couple of cans of black beans that were dented that my husband brought home for free from work, and then I have all of these pinto beans that I will cook up in my Instant Pot. This is the turkey I'm going to be using for the turkey and cheese bites, and it was in the freezer as well. It was from last month's turkey sandwiches that I didn't end up using. I'd gotten like 3 of them and I only needed 2. So I just had that sitting in the freezer for a rainy day. I've got a couple packs of the corn tortillas, and I'm going to do a like a quesadilla, a freezer quesadilla. I did freezer tacos, what was it? I think it was 2 months ago. And I think it'll work out better to do like a freezer quesadilla where I lay one of the tortillas flat, put the fillings in, and then put another tortilla on top instead of trying to fold just one tortilla because they like to crack. So I'm going to be doing that. I think I'll either use ground beef for that, or I might cook up some pork and do it like a shredded pork. But I'm also going to use the beans in those. And if I have any leftover cheese after the turkey and cheese bites, I can use some cheese from there. And then also I will cook up some rice. I still have lots of white rice in the pantry. And I will do rice in the burritos as well. I won't do that in the tacos, just in the burritos. And then I have a bunch of potatoes that I need to use up. So I'm going to bake, and I say bake, but I mean in the Instant Pot. I'm going to cook all those in the Instant Pot, and then I can dice them up and stick them in the freezer to pull out for potato soup or wild rice soup. And then any other ones we'll either eat up right away, or I can like slice them in half and then pull them out and put them in the freezer, and then I'll be able to pull them out for roasted potatoes like I've shown in my leftover baked potato ideas video, which again I will put up in the cards. Let's see, tacos, I already mentioned that. I have a whole bunch of cornmeal that I just bought when I was at Bob's Red Mill last, thinking I would come up with an idea to use it, and I just have not. So I really need to figure out something to do with that. I had the idea of cornbread. I'll have to look for a good recipe, or I might do like a tamale pie, a tamale casserole for the family. They would really enjoy that. So I will let you know what I come up with there. And then I'm going to make some more of my waffle mix. Again, I'll put the video up in the cards. I have one more bag in the freezer, but I have all of the ingredients to make it. So I'm going to see how many packs I can make out of the ingredients I already have, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us through April, so I won't have to do any more of that for my first of the month like freezer cooking time. So we'll just have to see how much I have. I'll just make as much as I can make. So that is the plan. I pulled out everything that was frozen that needed to defrost tonight. I'm not going to get too much done on it tonight, but I wanted to get it defrosted. Don't do that. That's gross. Don't do that. And then I'm going to get the dough started because that is the no-knead long rise dough. So I wanted to get it started overnight so I can work on it tomorrow. So that is the plan, and let's get to it, I guess. So I just got my dough started and it's ready to sit here on the counter. I also wanted to show you, I already made my list of meals that I still have or that I can easily make with what I have. I got pasta. I have lots of pasta right now, and I have lots of canned tomatoes and ground beef, so I can make pasta with meat sauce. I have 1 pack of wings that I can do. I have lots of pasta, and I still have lots of chili, so I can still do chili mac. I have 1 pack of drumsticks, and then I have stuff to make sweet and sour pork. So that is what I'm going to use when I make my meal plan. I'm trying to get all of this onto my meal plan so that I don't have to add a bunch of groceries. You know, I want to use up what I have. So that is what I have as far as notes, and I'm all done for tonight, and I will get going more tomorrow and the next day. Hey guys, it is Thursday now, and Thursday is our busy day of the week where I am gone from the house pretty much from 8:45 to around 4, so I knew I wasn't going to be getting a whole lot done. There's Renee. A whole lot done today as far as freezer cooking and food prep, but it is 7:45 right now, and I am getting a little bit taken care of. I started some rice in the Instant Pot here, and I have some ground beef and the cans of beans cooking on the stove over here. I'm going to make rice, beans, and ground beef, and whoever needs some now can have some now. And then I will use the rest of it to fill all of those tortillas over there and make the freezer burritos with those. I'll probably wrap them tomorrow because I want to make sure the filling is completely cooled off before I try to wrap them. So I'll probably just cook it all up, stick it in the fridge, and then deal with it tomorrow. I'll turn around and show you here. I also have my dough that is very much higher than it was yesterday when I showed you, and it has just been sitting here for now 24 hours. And since the house isn't super warm right now, it's not summertime, I'm just going to leave it overnight still on the counter, and it should be just fine to work on tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing the turkey and cheese bites tomorrow, and I will show you that when I get there. So I have my rice right here. It was on keep warm mode for 10 minutes, and I'm just releasing the rest of the pressure. And I'm gonna add it over here to my ground beef and beans. I have a little extra ground beef. I just cooked up the whole 4 pounds. And I might just stick that in the freezer, or I don't know. I'll just wait and see if I need it for anything. But yeah, just gonna add the rice in there, and that'll be done for the night. I also went ahead and pulled out one of my pork loins out of the freezer. I want to get this defrosted and chopped up. I did that before where I just chopped up a bunch of like stew meat and had it frozen in like a round shape that I could easily throw into my Instant Pot. And that was really handy to just have for whatever recipe I felt like doing. So I want to get this all chopped up and then frozen into round containers. And I've had some people mention that they didn't know that it was safe to refreeze meat. And I think it is recommended not to refreeze meat, but it's one of those rules that's not quite doable in real life. Usually when you get something from the store, a package of meat from the store, it's already been frozen, unless you really specifically buy something that says it's fresh and never been frozen. So anytime you bring some food home or some meat home from the store and you throw it in your freezer, you're freezing it twice. So I think from a food safety standpoint, people say don't refreeze meat, but it's something we all do and have very little issue with. I mean, there are a lot of rules out there that talk about food safety that is just not doable in real life. Like one food safety tip that I heard was, or recommendation that I heard was, never eat leftover rice, just because it can harbor bacteria. And I understand that that's a possibility, but it's just not doable. So, and it's not a huge risk. It's not like, 1 out of every 3 people that eat leftover rice gets sick. It's just a very slight possibility. So anyways, if you have concerns about refreezing meat, absolutely don't do it. But I don't. We find that to be a risk that we're willing to take. Just wanted to put that out there. So I am letting this defrost. Tomorrow I will chop it up, and I will at least freeze it in like stew meat portions, and I may even do some freezer meals with it and get all the ingredients together and throw those in the freezer. I'll just have to see what I come up with tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It is first thing Friday morning, and we don't have anywhere we need to go today, so I feel like I'm going to get a lot done today as far as chores and cooking. I have my pork loin in the fridge that I'm about to pull out. I also was a little more productive last night than I expected, and I got some of the burritos wrapped, and I just stuck them in the fridge to get them all the way cooled off before I put them in the freezer. And then I cooked that bag of beans. I just cooked it in my Instant Pot, and was able to just throw it in the fridge last night, so I need to deal with these this morning. And my big pork loin is here that I'm going to start cutting up. I had some more, even though I finished wrapping those burritos, I still had like a package and a half of tortillas left. And I was going to use some of this pork loin and stick it in the Instant Pot and use some barbecue sauce and do like a pulled pork. And I'm going to do the rest of the burritos as pulled pork burritos. So I am getting ready to chop this thing up, and then I also still have my dough here that I am going to be working on a little later. I know everyone's going to want to eat those up as soon as I make them, so I might try to make them around lunchtime so that everyone can have them for lunch. So that is what is going on this morning, and I'm just going to get going here. I ended up cooking that whole pork loin with the barbecue sauce. I just figured I'd make a whole bunch of the pulled pork, and if I have leftover, I can just freeze that. I'm going to use it to fill up the tacos and the burritos, so I'll probably use quite a bit. And then I'm just about to get started on the turkey and Gouda bites with the dough, so I'll show you that in a second. This is the pork that's finished. I cooked it for an hour, and then I let it sit on keep warm for an hour, and still the pressure hadn't all the way come down. I just let out the last little tiny bit. So I'm going to get this shredded up, and I'm also going to turn it on saute to boil off some of the liquid, because when you cook in the Instant Pot, liquid doesn't just boil off like it does in a slow cooker or on the stove. So it can be a little watery, so I like to do the saute mode for just a little while after it's finished cooking. If it has extra liquid I want to boil off, but I'm going to go ahead and shred all this up and get it ready for the tacos, and then I'll let it cool for a while before I fill all the tortillas. So I'm going to let that do its thing, and I'm going to get started on the Gouda and turkey bites. I got all of them wrapped up. These are gonna go in the freezer. I have a batch that's just about to beep right in a minute. And so that is what the kiddos are gonna have for lunch, and smells delicious. And this barbecue sauce boiled down, and a lot of the water got boiled off, so I'm gonna get that meat all shredded up and thrown back in here. There was just a little bit of cheese left, actually a fair amount of cheese left after doing all of this, and I'm gonna use those slices of cheese for the pulled pork burritos, and just have pulled pork with Gouda cheese, which sounds really good as well. So we're making progress here. So here is all the pulled pork, and it looks absolutely delicious. There's the cooked turkey and cheese bites, turkey Gouda bites, leftover cheese to go into the burritos. I still on my list have baked potatoes and cornbread, also the waffle mix. But I'm not sure I'm going to get to the waffle mix before my first week of the month freezer cooking time. We'll see. The cornbread, I'm just going to try to add that to my meal plan, and I'll find a recipe, and if I need any ingredients, I'll grab those on my first of the month grocery shopping trip. And then the baked potatoes, I'm just going to try to add a bunch of recipes or meals to my meal plan that have potatoes in them to try to get those used up. But besides that, I think I'm good. So just going to try to get the burritos filled today, and then I will be done with cooking for the day. Here's a peek at the pulled pork burritos. I'm just putting a scoop on here and then adding a little bit of cheese, wrapping it up. They'll be grilled before they're eaten, so the cheese will melt. I'm actually using up more of this than I expected. I may not have a whole lot to save, but I just have a few more here to go, and still the smaller ones. So I've already made this much, so I'm actually getting quite a few of these pulled pork burritos, and those should last throughout the month of April, which will be fantastic. Here are all the beef and bean and rice burritos that I got put in the freezer. That'll be quite a few meals for my husband throughout the month. And then I have my 2 bags of pinto beans here that I'll just use for whatever recipes come up throughout the month. I can add stuff to my meal plan that has pinto beans in it. And then here in the fridge, I have a few more of the beef and bean and rice burritos that'll just get eaten up in the next couple of days. And then I saved out some rice, some of the beans, and the ground beef, and I am going to use that for dinner tomorrow. I'm going to try to do my first of the month grocery shopping trip tomorrow. It may not work out, but I figured it'd be nice to have that already made up, and we can have rice, beans, and ground beef for dinner, so that I don't have to worry about cooking after I have my big shopping day. And I am saying we, but as you guys know, if you're following me, I'm doing a juice and raw food cleanse right now. So I mean they, the kids and the husband, will be eating that for lunch or for dinner tomorrow. All right, so I'm just gonna finish up those last few burritos, and then I am done. It feels really good to have cleaned out a bunch of stuff out of the freezer and the pantry, and get it in edible form. Oftentimes we have lots of ingredients, but actually no real food like that you can eat right away. So it's nice to transform the ingredients into dinners and meals. So I am, like I said, going to try to do my first of the month grocery shopping tomorrow. I also need to get my meal plan done, and I will do a video of that as soon as I get it done. I'm running a little bit behind here, just have had a lot of stuff going on, so I didn't get it done as soon as I wanted to. But that's life. So that is it for my freezer cooking pantry challenge end of the month cook up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be back again soon. Bye guys. Bye guys. Good job.